I was smoking a cigar with one of our more devoted viewers the other night, True to Roof. And when on my front lawn, one of my neighbors came up and said, "Hey, Colin, my car got stolen last week while you were in California. Do you have any video of it?" So we checked my Ring camera video, and no, we did not see anything. We could not see anything that was happening across the street. And so while we're sitting there talking, another person that lived nearby came up and said, "Hey, Colin, while you were in California, we had two delivery guys get robbed on this street. One down the corner on the bottom of the street, one at the corner on the top of the street, same block." At this point, True to Roof had kind of heard enough, and he goes, "Listen, you can look at all the videos you want, but in places like Wilmington and Chicago and St. Louis, crime is now legal." Okay, so I understood what he was saying, because on this channel we've talked a lot about how crime is the new black entitlement. But when he put it that way, I thought, in the presence of my neighbors who were the victims and witnesses of this crime, I thought True to Roof was overstating it a little bit. Then I heard this story. Then I saw this story. This is the story every cop in Chicago is talking about today. And now I know True to Roof, when he said crime is legal, wasn't taking it far enough.
Gunfire on a street near Guaranteed Rate Field. 3 carjackers confronted a retired Chicago police officer. He opens fire. One of the carjackers is hit and killed. 2 others are under arrest tonight. NBC5's Dick Johnson's live at 29th and Shields. And Dick, what more have you found out?
Well, Allison, because it involved one of the city's most nagging crimes and a retired police officer, and just a couple of blocks from a Sox game that had let out, there was a huge police response, and it paid off. 29th and Shields, about 7 o'clock, a still unidentified retired police officer getting into his car when 3 alleged carjackers picked the wrong victim.
A few of our neighbors have reported that they heard gunshots.
A retired Chicago police officer was seated in his vehicle when he was approached by 3 male subjects. One of the subjects pointed a handgun and demanded the victim's vehicle. The retired Chicago police officer was able to fire shots, striking the offender in the upper body.
I know this area is pretty safe for the most part, so it seems to be pretty shocking.
The 2 alleged accomplices were quickly apprehended nearby.
Based upon the amount of police that arrived and how quickly they arrived, I'm not worried.
That critically injured offender has since passed away. The officer, obviously shaken up, is said to be okay. The investigation's still going on, but there's no doubt there will be charges against all involved.
Okay, so you get 3 of the fellas come up on a retired cop with a gun. He pulls a gun, kills one of them. Did you hear what the guy said at the very end of his report? "Well, there is no doubt there will be some charges filed against the other 2 people." No, they didn't file charges. They let him go because the new district attorney, they call her the state's attorney of Chicago, Cook County, Kim Fox, she decided they didn't have enough evidence. She decided that 3 people tried to carjack a former cop. She decided that case wasn't strong enough to arrest the other 2 people. Well, if that's the case, why don't we arrest that former cop for killing that innocent dude for no damn reason whatsoever, who just happened to have a gun? But the former cop apparently just going around killing people and then making up stories about them trying to hijack his car. Why don't we arrest that former cop? Is it really as bad as True to Roof said? Is crime really legal? God, there's so many district attorneys now that have been elected with the joint support of Black Lives Matter and George Soros. Chicago's one, Philly's another, St. Louis is another, just to name 3. All 3 now, they have kind of weaponized their district attorneys' offices and have turned them into kind of political centers of political activism. And if one thing these political activists know is that black people are relentless victims of relentless white racism all the time, everywhere. That explains everything, especially why these 3, somehow the cop could have mistaken these 3 fellas for carjackers. How did that happen? How did that cop come to think those 3 guys were trying to carjack him? Is crime now legal in Chicago and Philly and in St. Louis? Just ask True to Roof. He'll tell you. He'll tell you in a way that will pretty much make the black kids angry.